Bryn Talkington of Requisite Capital Management, also a CNBC contributor. When you're looking at the stock move today, is that something that you identify with, or can you understand why somebody might be in a position to sell and want to sell?
Sure. I mean, you always want to ask what's already priced in. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, Tesla shareholders feel we've all known that the EV credits in the U.S. were going to go away. So there was going to be a pull forward. How much of a pull forward, we didn't know. And so, yeah, they had record sales. So I think it's actually healthy that what was already priced in is now recognized. And so I think it's on to the next point. I do think in Tesla, it's really important what Phil talked about energy storage. So when I think about power storage and generation, last quarter, Elon talked about that segment had year-over-year gross profits of over $800 million. And if you think about this capacity, electricity constrained, environment we're in, once again, Tesla has this, I think, Trojan horse, this sleeping giant of power generation. They're just continuing to have very high margins on and continue to grow.
Do you think that outweighs the worries over margin pressure when it comes to the EVs?
Well, investors have been willing to look through and say, because if you look at Tesla on a fundamental basis, you would say over the last year and a half, sales are down, earnings have declined. To your point, margins have come down. And so how is the stock continuing to do, very well, approaching that, or it's over that December 2024 high? It's because investors are saying this is still a high growth company. Elon is back. He's locked in focus. And I think that when you see robo-taxis, when you see AI, when you see FSD, when these other verticals, which are not monetizing at this point, are out there on the horizon, investors are going to say, I'm never going to discount Elon, and I will give this company this super high valuation and look past the eroding fundamentals of the business that you have today, which is EVs.
Right now, the stock is at $443. You seem like you're pretty optimistic about the verticals that they have. You said the power generation. You've talked before about your interest in the robo-taxi business. Are you adding to your position at this level?
No, definitely not. I mean, I added at 290 when he announced the American Party and everyone, had a hissy fit on the stock. I added some more at 320. I love to sell calls on the name. It gives me the ability, I think, to have an outsized position. Today, some of those positions have been called away because I had sold calls. I wouldn't be adding here. If you look at the stock chart, it blew past 360, which was prior resistance. That actually also happens to be the 50-day moving average. I don't think it gets back to 360, but I do think at 440, and if you look at the chart, it's too vertical for me. So I'll let it settle back in here, wait for a headline to add to more positions.
All right, and talk to me a little bit about the robo-taxi, because we've seen the big hoopla over the launch of that. Do you still like what you see?
Love it. I mean, I'm based here in Texas, so a couple things. If you think about from a profitability perspective, I believe about 6 Waymos cost the same as 30 robo-taxis. So from a profitability, they're able to put so many more cars on the road. The geofence, which is where the robo-taxi is allowed to drive in Austin, continues to exponentially increase. And Elon had said on the last call that they are hoping to be unmanned, because they're still manned because it has to be safety first, unmanned in Austin and maybe San Francisco as well by the end of the year. That to me will be a next catalyst of this new vertical, if they're able to get those robo-taxis fully unmanned and then start to compete against the Waymo. Because if you've ridden in one of those, they're a fraction of the cost of a Lyft or an Uber. And so I think this is going to be where people are going to start paying attention to this new vertical as the years progress.